Okay, let's try this again. It's Queen Sensitivity, and I have lots of messages or updates, things that I've picked up on, and things that I absolutely must share in order to sleep, in order to rest. So first, I'm being called to just start off with some tarot and oracle cards, even though I already have a bunch of notes. I'm just saying off the bat to just start with these, so that's what we'll do. I actually don't have that much space to like shuffle, which is an issue, which is a problem. I keep hearing the song by Taylor Swift, My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. It's like, it came in my head like right when I was about to like press play. It's like, but you should have seen him when he first saw me. My boy only breaks his favorite toys. Oh, 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 I'm queen of sand castles he destroys. Oh, 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 oh. Probably saying it wrong, but that's what I'm getting. I don't know why. It hasn't really been a part of the messages that I've been picking up on. Is like, I haven't picked up on anything to do with like romance or like love or even disappointment. But that's coming through now. I did see these cards. Oh, wow. Look at the bottom of the deck. Karmic Relationships. Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, conflict. This is so crazy because I didn't plan this at all. I planned a lot of shit. I have like probably like 30 things on my list to cover today, and none of them got to do with relationships, especially not of like of the romantic kind. And yet here it is. Something about karmic relationships. Four of Bowls, which is the Four of Cups. This is the Starseed Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell and illustrated by Danielle Noel. And this is by Carol Bridgers. This is the Medicine Woman Tarot. Four of Cups. It looks like this person is like trying to fill up this vase with water, but they've got the like the angle wrong. It's like this person has a deficiency or difficulty of or incapability of depth, and so they think that by being outside of the waterfall but holding the jug up next to the waterfall will get them the water. But no, they're actually outside of this circle. They're outside of the picture completely, thinking that they're gonna get some water. And it's like this person up here, I want to say goddess, is drinking. They're drinking peacefully there, but this person thinks they're getting something, but they're not. So I feel like this message is coming through in the way that I'm picking up on it. Excuse me, I burp a lot when I get a lot of messages. I'm picking up on this as there is someone, most likely a divine masculine, who is mistaken. They thought they were accessing something. They thought they were like, they found the fountain of youth, specifically through another person, specifically through a feminine person, but it's not. The depth is all off. They're not getting anything. Like, they thought they were getting nutrients and they're not. And then up here, it seems like this is a person that's like, I was going to say their guide, but this could just be in terms of the divine counterpart connection. This could be the divine feminine up here, like drinking peacefully, drinking in abundance, and not having to get that resource from anywhere else, because she, the energy, not gender, she has it with herself. Like, she is the fountain of youth. She is the fountain of wealth, is what I'm hearing. She is the abundance. And so she drinks, she has plenty. Meanwhile, this divine masculine assumed that he, in terms of energy, and he assumed that he would be able to get this resource from somewhere else, but it's off and it's wrong. And that's why I was picking up this Karmic Relationships. And then right beneath that is this one, water your garden. So there's like this repetition of water. I feel like the Divine Feminine is perfectly represented by water or as water. I feel like the Divine Feminine energy has a lot of connections as the water of life. Everything from, in what I'm hearing, everything births from water. Everything comes from water. Everything rises from water. And that is the realm of the Divine Feminine. That is the essence of the Divine Feminine. And it's like she is, I'm just seeing lots of like messages pop up one after another. It's like she is bathing in her own like abundance, bathing in her own sweetness and wealth. And the Divine Masculine is like trying to get her, or like is trying to get that abundance, get that wealth that she possesses, but they are, it's like this misperception, like I said at the beginning, this what's it called, this inability to perceive depth, which I feel like goes both ways. Like one of the messages is like in terms of like literally with your eyes. Some, I don't know if this is true, but I feel like maybe some people don't have like good depth perception. They don't, because some people only have like one eye that works, and so it's hard to perceive depth without two eyes. Then it goes into metaphysical, or in terms of metaphorically, a person that thought they were going to get depth from someone else, this false feminine energy, this false feminine person, but they're not. They're not. It's not. It's, there's no depth there. This person is very shallow, and that's why they're not getting any water in their jug, and they just gonna be thirsty. And so I feel like this is the same thing represented here in this Karmic Relationships pile. It's like they were like, oh, I'm gonna pop up here, like I'm gonna put all my energy into popping up here, and they get there and they realize that the Divine Feminine is actually here on this other planet, and it's because they were coming in with this lack of depth, this lack of sight, this lack of foresight, this lack of insight, all these things. And then I wish you could see, but one after another at the bottom of this deck, this next card is called Forge, Don't Follow. Pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. I think this is the last one maybe in this like trilogy. And so here you have again like all these waters coming down, but this person is on the opposite side. They're not on the right side where the water is. This reminds me of that scene from Croods. Yeah, the movie Croods with Nicolas Cage, which even in that name right there is Cage, being trapped. It's like this person, I feel like they've now discovered, like they've now realized that they're in the wrong spot. Again here, in the wrong location. In the wrong location. Same message, just in different visuals in the cards. And they're like, how the fuck do I get from like here to over there? And I just heard in my mind, you fly, you jump, you leap. Which is what happened in Croods. At the end, the father, who was the divine, he was the masculine of the family, he was the last one stuck on the other side, which was metaphorical because that's how he was throughout the movie. And he had to come up with a innovative way. I'm hearing ingenuity. He had to use his ingenuity, I don't know, to go across. I think he ended up, I don't think, I know, he ended up getting the tiger creature that was like rainbow colored, the tiger cheetah creature, and this huge, what's it called, chest skeleton or rib skeleton, and this tar, the sticky tar, and these cannibalistic birds. No, it's not cannibalistic. What's it called? The ones that eat meat. Is it cannibals? No. That's the one that eats its own species. Omnivore, carnivorous species of birds to stick to the tar and jump across. So it's like this masculine in this movie, Croods, had to use something outside of himself. But that's not outside of himself. What I'm trying to say is that's the masculine way, which is a part of one of the messages that I was going to share today anyways, is is to be of the material realm, of the physical realm. And that's why I was saying the divine feminine energy is much more suited to comparison to water, or, you know, literally being water is the feminine energy, whereas the masculine energy is the physical, it's ingenuity, it's action. And that's what the father had to do at the very end of the movie in order to make it across to the new age. Because I felt like, but throughout the whole movie, and this is directly reflecting the message here about the divine masculine, throughout the whole movie, the father had this resistance to innovation. He had this resistance to using the material world around him to his advantage in order to survive. He had this resistance and this fear of embracing his physical environment in order to learn and to create. He did not listen to his daughter, that feminine energy, who wanted to explore and discover new things, and learn new ways to do things, just innovation in general. And that is a distortion of the divine masculine energy. Divine masculine is supposed to be all about the material world, and yet he was hindered the whole time by fear. And it wasn't until the end of the movie, when he was able to achieve that almost mastery of the material world, creating inventions and being innovative, was he able to reach, I'm hearing, the promised land, which was promised, the Tomorrowland, on the other side, where all the water is, where the divine feminine lives in her element. So there you have it. The first message, I'm gonna read comments. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of people who just on here for no reason. That's great. I think everything is a message, but I do see this word, what's she on about, which reminds me of one of my friends that I've had the pleasure of meeting, someone from the UK. And I don't know, I think that's interesting because the UK, in my opinion, or from just meeting this one person, you would think, I feel like if you spoke to this friend of mine, he does identify as a man. He does come out, he feels very masculine, he has very masculine energy to him. And so it's like that's the masculines that we've become familiarized with, but that's actually a distorted masculine energy. Love him, lovely person. But that's actually distorted masculine energy. The divine masculine energy is fearless, is brave, listens to the feminine, is in cohesion, is in cooperation, works alongside the feminine. And what you find, I feel, specifically coming from that continent, just since we're on this topic of someone saying, what's she on about? There's a lot of gaslighting of the feminine, and telling her that she's crazy, and like saying these things to like to insinuate that she isn't making any sense, and that she is off track or off kilter or out of line. Just all these different things, these different modules of gaslighting, when in fact she is onto something, which kind of like segues into all the messages that I got for today. I'll just show you so you can see what I'm referencing. I have my notebook. Ah, shit. And usually I just write one page, but today there's 2 pages with images as well. So I have quite a bit of things to share. This card just fell to the ground, and now it's here. So this is Star Keeper, and cosmic ancestors see the light by staying grounded. Yes, the divine feminine has a lot of information, and I feel like to just go outside of the 2 energies or whatever and just talk about the collective in general, everyone in general, I feel like we are on the verge of accessing all of our information, the truth, through our own cosmic ancestry. If anyone is confused, and I don't want to say this because it's kind of annoying, if anyone is confused, obviously this is a live recording, and so if you're watching this live, you won't know what's going on if you started from where I'm talking. I feel like that's very obvious, which kind of reminds me of Shikari. Yes, this will be posted after the fact as a recording, but if you're watching it live and you're catching it as I'm saying it, you probably won't know what I'm talking about. That's fairly obvious. But I believe her name is Sha'Carri Richardson, the fastest woman in the world, in my opinion, or to my knowledge. The last time I heard, she was the fastest woman in the world. And I remember she was doing an interview, and the interviewer was asking her like these very rude ass questions, and he was like, the last race you ran, everyone expected you to do so well, but you didn't do well. So how did that go for you? And she was like, you didn't have to say the last race you lost. That's obvious. It's like, and then she's viewed as like this mean-spirited woman, but she's literally just stating the truth. That is what I'm talking about, this gaslighting of the divine feminine. And it's so great because I feel like everything has shifted significantly, and I've been getting so much validation from reality, from like different people, and it's been like a first time kind of experience for me because I have all these experiences. I have all these gifts, which are just, I don't know, basic things that I feel like all of us have or should have access to. But all of the clairs, all of the psychic things, for example, claircognizance, which is just psychic knowing. I have a lot of psychic knowing. I have a lot of like psychic visuals. I have a lot of like clairaudience, psychic knowing, all of the clairs, really all of the senses, and I pick up on these things and I know that they're real, and then I share them, and I feel kind of crazy because I can feel other people who watch my videos or people who have access to me when I share this information. I can feel them feeling or thinking that I'm crazy, even if they don't type it in the comments, or even if they don't say it to me in any other way. I can still feel people thinking that I'm crazy, or people being skeptical of what I'm saying, which is fine, but also not fine. But now I've been having other people confirm these things to me and more. And I think because of this, I'm going to start off with the ant people. But first, I'm being called to finish out these cards that I pulled first thing. So we have the Hanged Man, or the Hanged One. Yeah, the breasts are covered. YouTube, it's okay. It's clarified by wait, it's not time yet, things are being woven. Wow. The Hanged One, the Hanged Man, which is all about waiting, or like seeing things from a different perspective, having patience, is clarified by the wait card. That's interesting. Let me pull me some tea. Give me a moment. Okay, next. We have the Nine of Stones, which was in reverse. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So I feel like, even though this might not be the traditional meaning of this card, I'm feeling that like the things that you've buried, wow, this is what? This is crazy. The things that you've buried are like tumbling out of the ground. They're getting shook out of the ground. You know, in those like those shows and movies where like the bully like turns over the nerd that they're like robbing from lunch money, and like the change jiggles out from their pockets, change coming out of the woodworks. The reason I was so like shook by that and what I was like getting is that I keep seeing around the area that I live in, I keep seeing like underneath revealed. Like I'll be walking somewhere and they'll have like the big sewer plate, it'll be open and you can see underground. I've seen this at least 3 times that I've taken pictures of, but I'm like, it's been a minute of me seeing like underground, the physical ground being removed. And this is what's the main theme of this energy streamline, is that it's been a lot of like real life proof of what I've been talking about spiritually, which I feel is also representative of the divine masculine and divine feminine energies, or lovers coming into union, this merging of the feminine the spiritual, the water, picking up all these things and visualizing and seeing all these things with her foresight, her insight, her intuition, and then the masculine meeting that and it becoming one where you can see it and feel it. Like, I have been picking up on this energy since the start of 2024. I was told by Spirit that this would be the year of reveal. And then now in late July and early August of 2024, I'm seeing physically, literally, things from underneath being revealed. That's the merging of the divine masculine and divine feminine energies. Clarifying the Nine of Stones, Nine of Pentacles is, this is crazy. Activated earth, ley lines, trust where you are led. Literally, I was just talking about stones, pentacles, the actual cement, rocks, the sewage, I don't know, stone things being removed. And here comes this imagery like stone fucking hinge. This material world meeting the spiritual world, the union of the divine masculine and divine feminine energy. A lot of people I've seen, or not a lot of people, but some people get confused when I talk about these divine masculine, divine feminine energies. This is a great example of what I mean. It's just energies. When I keep saying not gender, not gender, not gender, this is what I mean. It doesn't have to be people and their genders. It's energies, energetic. This would be a more feminine energy, one that's not really tangible, one that's spiritual. You can see it with your soul eyes, your spiritual eyes. And then this is one you can see with your physical eyes. That's a masculine energy type of thing. This is the two coming together in union. And to be frank, to be honest, functioning as it should. This is something that has been coming up over and over in my reality. Like, Spirit has been like sprinkling it around in my face so I can get it. That these things that I've been talking about, these things that I've been picking up on and diving into, you know, for the last few years are actually real things. They are real things, and it's actually how things were and are returning to, but in a very grand, much better way than before. At the same time, it's like, this is how Earth literally used to be. People knew these things. The truth was out and about. People knew these things. But it's like, you take me, like a person who is spiritual, which, you know, still isn't accurate enough of a term because we're all spiritual. Like, what does that even mean? But anyways, like, you take me to these locations and I'll be like, oh, I feel this. I feel like there's something here. There's a portal here. I'm feeling some sort of energy. It's really strong and intense. And then nobody around you can see it. And so you look crazy for saying that. And it's like, now you can literally see these things. Now, literal proof. That's the divine masculine energy showing up, stepping in to merge and meet the feminine energy that has, to be honest, also been distorted and out of her power, not in her power. Okay, so remember, this card flipped to the floor. So it was clarifying this card that I haven't flipped over yet. Let's take a moment of a breath because these messages are coming in quick. So I need to breathe. Give me a moment. Oh, my eye, my third eye. Ah, that also reminds me of something else that I saw. I'll say it soon. Totem of Pipes, Eagle, the Flyers. This is an eagle, but there's also this little hummingbird here. I think I've seen like a real hummingbird maybe like, excuse me, 3 times in my life, and it was all around the same time. So I lived in Texas, and apparently at a certain time in the year, like during the migration, a lot of birds show up in Texas. And there was this hummingbird that kept coming to where I lived, I think like 3 days, like spaced out over a week. I saw it there. But I'm feeling like with with this hummingbird and then the eagle. The eagle is like this very powerful, obviously very powerful symbol, very big bird, and then you have this very like small hummingbird, but both of them are mighty as shit. Like hummingbirds are mighty as hell. Like their wings beat like so fucking fast. They're so quick. They're almost unreal. And it's the same with eagles. Like eagles are like, they might as well be mythological creatures because they're so cool. And it's like both of them here, like together again. Together again. But I also feel like with the eagle flyers, I feel I'm seeing in my mind like that imagery of, what was it, that movie Red Tails? It's about those, a bird! A small bird has come. Hello, bird. Oh, wow. I've talked about this before, but where I live, there's not a lot of birds. And so for one to come when I'm talking about birds during the reading, it's just like so synchronistic and it's so sweet. And I'm very grateful. Wow. That's so crazy. Like it's like right here and it's like staying by, like to make sure like I get it. Thank you so much for showing up for me, or to me, whatever the way to speak is. But anyways, it's clarified by this cosmic ancestor again. It's like both of these pack a punch irregardless of like how it looks. And I feel like that's also a message, like the little shifts in your life, the little steps that you have taken in your life, the little changes or little tumbling stones that have been tumbling in your life, like don't underestimate them. They still pack a punch. Okay? So we'll just sit these to the side and I will get into the rest of my messages, most likely starting with the third eye. How everybody doing? I hope everybody doing well. Let me know how you're doing in the comments. So, currently I'm not really able to access Instagram. It's been like up and down with my VPN as of late, but that's okay. But if you happened to check out my Instagram, Queensensitivity1, I made a post and it was my face, and underneath the post I was talking about glitches. So I've been having technological glitches since I woke up, whatever. I'm just going to say woke up, but, you know, even that's inaccurate. I've been seeing, like, a lot of technology glitches, like, shit that just doesn't make any sense. There's no reason why it should be functioning like that. Fine. I feel like we are all kind of used to, like, technology glitching, technology not working. But what I have been seeing, the crazy shit is when you see a fucking glitch in the matrix in front of your face, like with your own eyes, that's like not, it can't possibly be like it's not a regular technological glitch. Like for example, a glitch would be I'm doing a YouTube live and just for some reason it stops working and just shuts out. I've had it where my videos just won't post, or like now my Instagram just won't work for no reason, or you know, stuff like that. Like you can't text on your phone. Those are normal. We all know those. But then there's other shit. So I'll just start off with this one that I saw. I was watching this woman's video. I think her name is, fuck, what's her name? I think it's Lauren something. I don't know why I didn't like, because I just remembered it just now when I was talking about my third eye. She's very like popular. Like this is white woman, and she like talks in this very particular kind of way. She's very skinny, very pale, and she has blonde hair and I think blue eyes. But I think in this video she wore a black wig for some reason. She has a lot of great videos on like the divine masculine energy, and she talks about the Pleiades a lot, or the Pleiadians a lot. Oh, I can't remember her name. Anyways, I was watching her video and like I was moving around, like around here, my room, when I was watching her video, and so I was like glancing at it, and I swear, when I glanced at it and looked away, I saw her with 3 fucking eyes. I saw her, she had a literal eye here, And I was like, oh my God. Like, I just saw her third eye. And I looked back, it was gone. But when I was walking around, I saw her and she had 3 fucking eyes. 3 eyes. Like a third eye. And I was like, oh my gosh. That's one of them. Another glitch that I've had recently that I can remember, because child, it'd be a lot of them. So I probably forgotten shit. But I was standing in front of one of my students, and I think first I like blanked out. Like I was there talking, and then everything shut down. Like it was just back to black space. Everything, nothing existed. And it was for like a second, and then it clicked back on, and I was back in the room. It's kind of like, you know, during a storm, and then a generator come on, and then it go off, and then it come back on, like that, the lights. But it wasn't just like the lights blinked. It was like reality blinked. It blinked out, and then back on. And I think a little bit around after that, like a few minutes, maybe 30 minutes after that, my student's face glitched. Like he had a normal face with eyes and a nose, and it just became like blurry. Like the features disappeared, and then it came back. And I was like, what the fuck? So one of the symptoms that I've been having, obviously, has been blurry eyes. And the reason, if you've been having this symptom, or from my experience, you know, everybody's different. If you feel like yours is for a different reason, that's you, do you. The reason that I believe that if you've been having blurry eyes as an ascension symptom is because your eyes are upgrading. Like I've been talking about, the merging, the union of the divine feminine and divine masculine energy means the merging of the spiritual with the material. So a lot of people, you know, if you astral travel, if you have dreams, if you have like visions of different places and different conversations with people, different parallel realities, things go on and on, right? It's always like not in real life, if that makes sense. But actually, those experiences are real. They are real things. It's just that the physical body is like not merged. The material is not merged with those spiritual happenings, if that makes sense. Hopefully it makes sense. What's happening in ascension is we are rising up to meet in union with those higher vibrational energies. And so as we do that, our bodies are upgrading and updating. And that's why you'll have blurry eyes, so that your eyes can adjust and see reality as it truly is without the matrix and all the fake AI shit. What kind of leads me into something else, I think. What was I going to say? Anyways, if it comes back, it comes back. If not, it's okay. Next, today, I had like jaw pain. Like my jaws felt like they had arthritis. That was something. Like teeth, like pain, like the gums feeling like sore, like feeling like your teeth are being like pulled down. I felt a tapping on my third eye last night. Like I was getting ready for bed, and I just felt boop, 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 like someone was like tapping it. The tapping, that's also like it getting activated. You being able to see truth, reality again. Okay? The ears ringing. I've had a lot of ear ringing. It's usually from my right ear, and it'll be like, let's see if I can make the sound. No, it didn't work. What do I have up here? I don't have nothing that can make that sound. But it's like a like in my ear, and I've been having that a lot. It's usually infrequent. Like I've had it since I was waking up, but recently it's like multiple times in a day. Like I'll be having a conversation and it ding, and I can't hear whoever I was talking to. Last night or this morning, depending on like whatever you want to call the time, I had the sensation of like my soul or my spirit was like slightly delayed from my physical body, which is something that I've experienced before. It was not fun when it first happened. It was kind of scary. But last night, I think because I was like out of it from like sleep, it's like it was like delayed. It felt like very like this, and like you see, what's an example? Kind of like in the Matrix where he like gets hit back, I think, and they like, is it in the Matrix where he hits his soul out of his body and you see like the little different shots and faded versions of him? That's how it felt. And I had like this fiery sensation like going down my spine, like if healing fire was on somebody's hand and they like did like this and caressed my spine. That's how I felt, like this heat going up and down my spine, which I think is connected to Kundalini, but we don't have to get into all those terms and things. I've been feeling like these like earthquake feelings, and I experienced this a while ago, I think a few weeks ago, while laying in bed. It felt like not the physical earth, but like the construct, the reality itself was like shaking, like this earthquake type of feeling. I felt that again today. I was standing up at work and I felt like the shaking, but I also knew at the same time that nobody else could like feel it. Yes. What else of my things before I cross into other shit? I think I'll go into the other shit now. No. Okay. So something that's been really highlighted to me is like other beings. There's been a lot of talk about aliens, extraterrestrials, angels, just other beings, so to speak. And I've been really pushing and challenging myself to become unafraid of anything, because I should be unafraid of anything. We should all be unafraid of anybody else, because our soul is God. Our soul is source. Our soul is spirit. It's the God, the source, the creator. And as such, in that authority, nothing else, no other part of source has the authority to fuck with us should we not give it permission to. We in your power, nothing can fuck with you, nothing can touch you, nothing can harm you without your permission, without you allowing it. And most of the time it's allowing is through fear. And so I've been really, really working on feeling my fear and letting it go when it comes to potential interactions with any other beings, because they can't fuck with me. They can only help me should I allow them to. Makes sense. So this morning, I think, and I think this energy is still here. I saw, like, in my mind's eye, there was this guide. I'll just say a guide. They weren't physically here as I could see anyways, but they were like Master Shifu. Like, imagine like a giant version of Master Shifu, because Master Shifu is pretty tall. This being was like, I would say maybe like 6'3", 6'4", and they had like on a hood, and I feel like they were hiding their face because they didn't want to scare me. But I saw like the Master Shifu arms, whatever animal he is in that movie, with the light brown fur, and it's skinny, and it was contrasted with like this big robe, and I could feel that this being was very like lighthearted and almost kind of like silly, like that animation is, the Kung Fu Panda animation, where it's like got a lot of humor and comedy in it with these undertones of like deep wisdom and like truth about being in your power. That's the energy of this person, this being, and it just said to call them Master Shifu. So I feel like this is something that I also want to pass on as a message to the collective, or to who is willing to receive it. Watching this energy update is, if you feel called to, start practicing like getting rid of any fear of any beings, of Oh, my ear. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is a big one. This is a big message. It's like ting, ting in my ear. Wow. It's still like dying out. The message is, start practicing becoming unafraid of any fucking body. This is like very, very important. If you have fears of like supposed demons or entities, draconians, what's it called, the reptilian people, lizard people, all these different beings and aliens is gonna come and that people tell you gonna fuck with you and like steal your soul and shit. Start facing those fears. Start fucking debunking them, because there is no one. There's no one. No, I don't care where the fuck they come from. If they from the kingdom of heaven or some shit like that, and they got all this power, or they're an angel or something like that, nothing can fuck with you, because in the truth of love, everyone, every being is equal. Every being is a part of Source, Christ consciousness at the highest level, and there is no one, no being ever, anywhere, from any star system, from any galaxy, who can fuck with you without your permission. Take back your power by facing these fears, and it might take some time, as I'm doing. It might take some time, but just keep trying, keep facing these fears and debunking them. Feel the fear in your chest, acknowledge it, and then be like, you know what, it's cool, I can let it go, because you know what, I'm me and I'm good. Ask for protection from yourself, which will be spirit, which will be Source, creator, whatever you want to call it. Okay, that's a huge message, because I heard a lot of like ringing while I was saying this, and I'm hearing now that someone will be getting like the chills or like the tingling body sensation. If you're getting that sensation while listening to me share this message, that means it's especially significant for you. Moving on. Okay. So yes, in my dreams, I think first I want to talk about like, there's been this huge energy that came through with the cusp of July and August. This huge push of energy, and I felt it. It made me feel extremely uncomfortable. I felt like I was just done. It made me feel extremely drained. There was a lot of rage building up from that, from the end of July. A lot of rage that came through. And then when at the cusp of it coming into August, it switched from rage into like this feeling of like being crushed by the weight of everything, and feeling like I wanted to cave and like to just be done with everything and just become a nomad out of nowhere. And if you've experienced this energy, if you've experienced like this feeling of your soul refusing, my soul was refusing. She was like, hell the fuck no, like I don't fuck with none of this, and I don't want to do it no more. Like that's the kind of like the tantrum energy. Someone once described it to me as, it's something that horses do. I forget the term for it, but it's like that, like a horse that was doing fine, and you walk the horse, like a human walks the horse into a field to do something that the human wants it to do, and then on the way back the horse just gives up and plops down and refuses to get up. It's just like, I'm not doing it anymore. Like I've let you lead me around, and I'm just not fucking doing it anymore. That's how my soul was. Like I'm not doing this shit no more. If you felt that, heed that. Heed that. I feel like the message is it'll come in with these very like high risk asks. Like it might ask you to quit your job, sell your house, sell your car, move, just stop everything. And you can do that. You can absolutely do that if you feel called to. If you feel really called to just stop and drop and roll out, this is your message. This is your reassurance to do so. But however, what I'm trying to say, the continuation of this message is that heed that message, shift it in your energy, and you can go about it in a more gradual but still fast-paced kind of way, and in a way that is more in cohesion with how reality works as of now. But I do feel like the matrix is crumbling rapidly, and I feel like there will continue to be rapid changes. And I'm hearing right now, this message is coming through, that like things that you never thought, like companies or businesses or people that you never thought would be able to fall, like in our minds, because of the way that the matrix works, you think that certain establishments, like they just will never get touched, or people will never get popped. They will. And I'm hearing now, this example came through with the ex-president, the one that's a felon, and like you never thought anything would be able to touch him, and it did. He got popped. And it's like the same thing with Drake. It's like these people, these big status symbols, not necessarily people, these big status symbols are going to continue to have these quick, rapid falls, and it's issuing in these new energies that are in divine alignment with love. And I'm hearing with the highest, high council, or the highest council, or highest consciousness is what I'm hearing, in alignment with the divine laws of the cosmos, of the universe, whatever, however you want to say it, is what I'm hearing. Like swift changes. So it's like right now you might be afraid to, I don't know, drop out of the job you have, sell your stocks. I don't know if people have stocks still. Sell your stocks. And right now it might look like that's a bad financial decision. But then just like so quickly, like maybe like 2 days after you drop out and you sell those stocks, the market crash. Like you never thought that this company would ever like flop. They flop the next day, and it's like boom, you trusted your intuition, you sold everything, and you got out right before this this symbol that you thought was impenetrable was penetrated. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. Like that feeling. Like it might seem very illogical now, but because the world is changing, has changed, is shifting, has shifted, it's shifting into a state or a way of life. I'm seeing an insect now to clarify. A way of life that is it's a way of life that supports following the heart versus this leaving reality where it does not. It supports people and gives promotions and gives abundance to people who are not following their heart. There are major shifts happening that are in support, that are in favor. The dominoes are falling, the dice are hitting the mark in favor of following the heart, in favor of the divine feminine energy in union with the divine masculine energy. All of these messages are coming through just now. What the fuck is this? I was about to say, if it's a bug in here, I know some. I think it's just a tea leaf. Everything is a message. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I have this tea, and I'm like, what the hell is this little thing? I was like, is that a fucking fly? Have I been drinking fly tea? But it's not. It's just a piece of the tea leaf. Yeah. It's crazy that I haven't seen that. Like, where did that come from? I swear it wasn't in there. Like, the whole time. And then now I just looked, and it's right there. Like, shit like that. Like, what? Anyways. Continuing on. I think I'll continue to talk about my dreams, and then I'll go back to this one. So, as I've been, like, doing more meditations and things, and, like, doing more deep breathing and, like, being off my phone, I feel like that's why I've been having issues with accessing things like Instagram, even YouTube. Like, a lot of my apps haven't been working, and I know it's because I'm supposed to, like, be off my phone more. So, while I've been in these meditations, I haven't been getting the answers that I wanted, or like the things that I wanted to see all the time. But I have been seeing sacred geometry, which is very interesting because as far as I can remember, I don't remember this being like reoccurring imagery in my dreams, but I've been seeing these images. One of the images was, and they're all like, they're not two-dimensional shapes. These are all three-dimensional when I see them in my mind's eye, and they're all kind of like, they look like they feel soft what's an example? Like a tire, but like a soft tire. Like they have this, they look rubbery, but smooth. Excuse me. A lot of channeled big energies coming out. The first one that I remember that I saw in my mind's eye in my dream, it was this triangular shape, but it was rounded. So like a rounded triangle like this with the curves. A rounded triangle. And it was white. And in the middle of that triangle was this ball shape, and it was green. I don't know what the fuck that is, but I saw it. And it felt like it was like moving. And it was also, I think on the sides, like on the sides of the triangle, it was like about 3 to 6 inches thick. I'll say between those, because I don't know, I don't know inches. About 2 to 3 inches thick, like on the sides of it. And in the middle was this green ball. And on the other side, you could see the back of the green ball. That's one of the things I saw. So, kind of like this. Okay? And then, I think last night or the night before last, I saw this other triangular shape. And it was the same like rounded triangular thing. But this time, it was a flat white surface, same texture though, like same like feel, even though I didn't touch it, but it, you know, you can tell how something might feel based on the look. So, but it was white surface, and on the side of it, so it's a 3-dimensional shape, on the side of it was an opening, and it was like a cutout of the white. Let me see if I can like do examples. The only thing I've drawn is like this, but I feel like it's not a good image. Like it was like white here, and on the side it was open. There was an opening, and inside of it wasn't anything. And both of these shapes were like floating and moving somehow. Like they looked like they were living. It's almost like in those movies where like someone, witch or like a superhero or someone, like they do a spell in the air and you can like see the spell and it looks like it's like moving and alive. Like that's how these shapes looked. I've been seeing a lot of 22s and 1, 2, 3s and 3, 2, 1s. Okay, I'm gonna continue. I have a lot to say, as I've said before. Just give me a moment. Let me check off some things. They're saying not that one, not yet. Shifu. Okay. I also am pretty sure I saw a 3-headed fairy, because I said how I keep seeing like the light, the little orbs of light, and I know they're fairies, but I feel like for one, like my eyes here can't see how they actually look, and then I think for 2, they also are trying not to scare me because they know the fear, but I feel like they're here to support me, but they love me enough not to show how they actually look in case they scare me. So I asked how it actually looked, because one was flying like in my face, and it had 3 heads, this fairy, like 3 heads, and I'm like, I don't know if I've ever heard of a fairy with 3 heads, but that's what I saw, so I'm sticking to it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So in with this huge energy I was talking about at the cusp, is how I'm hearing to describe it, at the arc, at the cusp, was this huge energy of like this distorted mother energy, or I will say distorted mother. It's not necessarily has to be your mother or your parent, but just like this authoritative feminine energy distorted. And it was so familiar to me because I felt it throughout my life, but it was coming from this new person, but it was the same energy. And it felt like this energy of like, I'm going to punish you and I'm going to make you feel bad and I'm going to make sure you're silent and I'm going to make sure that you know that it's not okay for you to like take up space and be in power in front of me. And in the moment that this energy was called out, it immediately like switched into like this other side of the same distorted mother or the same distorted authority energy of like, oh, now that I've been called out, instead of like atoning for my mistakes or admitting my mistakes and apologizing and coming from an authentic, very vulnerable, non-hidden space, I'm going to smile in your face and pretend like I was never the monster that I just showed myself to be. That's the energy that I felt in my reality, and it was very, very heavy and very, very oppressive, and I felt like it was pushing me, and Spirit gave me instructions and I followed them and it fucking worked. I haven't told anybody this, but I will share it here, what I was guided to do. Basically, Spirit told me to listen to an activation by Ramona Lappin. I always highly recommend her. I'm going to be talking about her later on because she embodies the divine feminine energy, and not just divine feminine, just divine energy, but specifically divine feminine energy so fucking well because she is authentic to herself. And so her activations, top tier. But if you don't want to listen to anyone else's activations, just make your own. Get into a space of like, you know, being clear, being connected, and just speak freely, record it, and then play it back for yourself to cleanse your energy. In my case, I listened to her, it worked, and then Spirit was like, when you wake up, listen to her again. And I listened to a specific video by her, and then I was told to, throughout the day, listen to 432 hertz frequency. Like, keep reinforcing these energies. It needs to be like a pattern. Like, you need to keep being in a state of alignment. 1 second, let me turn this off. How hot is this? I might need to go get some more hot water, and I might need to pee soon, but I'll try to finish these thoughts before I go pee. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, fuck, shit. Okay. And then in her video, she was saying to like be in your power, like be in your power. And I said, okay. But in order to be in your power and to access your powers, you have to be out of fear. So that's the first step. Get your body out of fear. Get your body out of flight or fight mode. When you are in fight or flight mode, when you are in fear, you are giving permission to something else, energies, people, places, situations. You're giving your power away and allowing that external factor to dictate your internal reality, which then you in turn create more of what you don't want, if that makes sense. It's like, for example, let's say it's raining outside. That's you allowing that rain to be, I know, rain a letdown on your day. You're like, oh, it's raining outside. Now I have to stay outside because it's raining. And so because you believe that, you also push out that to be true into reality. And so it keeps raining. Versus thinking the true way of how we create is from, oh, it's raining outside, it must be for me, or I created this. And if you want to, you can shift inside of yourself to then change the outside. Basically what I'm saying is we create the universe does not create us. It's basically what I'm saying. And so when you are in a fearful position, you are literally you're allowing the universe or outside of you to create for you. You're giving permission over to that. So step 1 is to be delusional. If you don't have it in you to like be like, oh, I'm the shit, be delusional. let everything go. Just let all of it go and just tap into that space of whatever happens, I'm good because I'm eternal. Okay? Once you're in that space, you can make like a child, as Ramona Lappin likes to say. How would your inner child see how to solve this situation? So my inner child, or myself, whatever part of me was coming out, they just imagine, I saw like the things that was causing me an issue. I saw it as this giant dark gray wall. And in this wall of rock, it had a crack in it. And so my intuition said to seal that crack. So I brought in source light, which is how I like to see it, source consciousness. And I changed the light into like this golden paint or glue. And I glued the crack in that foundation, sealed shut. And I thought to that crack, I said, you are not allowed to open again. From here on out, forever and ever, you're sealed. And then when I went to work that day, I imagined this huge light switch, the old school kinds, the white ones, like with the actual little knob, the light switch, and I clicked it off. Click it off. And on the way there, the whole time, Spirit kept saying, don't be surprised when it works. Don't be surprised how this shows up in the reality. And I kid you not, I'm going to share this because I feel like it's the right thing to do, because I feel like I need to be, I'm living proof, be a testament to what I'm saying actually fucking worked. Like, it actually worked. I cut off the light switch. I said, you're off. You're not fucking with me no more. You're off. And the person there that had this energy of this intoxicated mother authority, flip-floppy, I'm gonna like disguise myself, kind of like that creepy mother in Coraline, and how she'd be like sweet, but she was menacing and like was hiding that. That person was not there that day. I think they were there and then they just left. I never saw them. The rest of the day, back to back. I promise you, I kept like every time I would be somewhere, I'd switch it off. I sit in my mind, switch off the light switch. Back to back. All these things that were stressing me out, they just got solved. Back to back. It was insane. I remember I was literally sitting down and I switched it off. And I think like 30 seconds later or 3 minutes later, I can't remember, I got an alert on my watch, and it was a message saying that something that I was stressed about got canceled. They was like, hey Jabria, just letting you know, this is canceled. You no longer have to do this. Just like that. Wow. It says here, Micah says I'm back. That's so, I'm gonna write that down. Wow. Wow. Micah says I'm back. That's such a huge thing for me. I don't know if I'll say why, but wow. Wow. But it works. I'm like, I want to tell everybody here, like, tune in to your God self. Tune in to that ultimate authority of your soul. And it's not about, like, forcing reality to work how you want it to work. Like Spirit was saying on my walk, they kept saying over and over, like, let go of what this light switch does. Just turn it off. But don't try to be in control of the specifics of what's turned off and how it looks and how fast it goes. Like, let go of the specific details, but the overall energy of it, if you know that it is not for your highest good and it's just there to fuck with you and make you suffer, turn it off. Turn it off. Refuse it. Don't give it permission to exist in your reality. Turn it off. Okay? That's something that's very important. I'm hearing a ringing because I just asked. I was like, hey, am I on point? And it was like, yes, you are. Okay, I'm gonna go pee. I will keep this on live. Hopefully it'll be fine, and I'll be right back. Go get some water. Or fast forward it, whatever, if you're watching the replay. Ah, shit. I feel like this was meant to happen. It's okay. Now I'm back. Oh, my spiral that I just bought, it broke. My poor baby. I feel like also the top's missing. Oh, here it is. Oh, which this kind of like gets me into messages from earlier today. So just gonna dive right into it. If you check my description now, I've already added the link to this interview with Billy Carson, which has been blowing up, has over 1 million views in a month, which I think is fairly slow for how much information he shared in that video. Like, I watch a lot of like videos of people sharing the truth. This was the most like in-depth one that I've ever seen in my life. And it was the like, usually people who are speaking the truth, it's like shorter videos, or people cut them off, or people ask them the wrong questions. And so the juicy part, the meat of it, is never like said. Oh, I feel so bad for my crystal. But I was guided earlier, like I was told to put it there between in my lap. And so I feel like it was destined to happen. So I'm just gonna let it be okay. Okay. Yes. And I can't help but feel like it's symbolic of like us progressing in terms of like things being revealed. And I just thought about this. This is the 3rd time that I have seen specifically, it's these times where I've seen these videos that like shift me in a large way this year have been from 3 black men, specifically from black men, 3 black men. The first one, which I'm sure everybody knows, because I feel like everybody saw this video, was the Cat Williams video in January, if I'm not mistaken. And the next one that I saw that shifted me significantly over, I think, 2-week span was this video by Darius J. Wright, even though that wasn't my first time seeing him. And then today, which was kind of over, I think, a 2-week span as well, because I kept seeing clips on Instagram. And then finally my friend sent one. I was like, fuck it, I guess I'm meant to like go watch the whole interview. It was by this black man named Billy Carson. And all these people are revealing, and I can't help but know and feel that it's very intentional, that it's coming from specifically men, and specifically black men, which for me personally is very, very healing. But I also feel like it's a reflection of like older times one thing that Ramona Lappin talks about a lot is that in order to like shift into ascended earth, or shift, you know, out of the matrix into the creatrix, is that we have to return, like the conditions have to return to how they were when it first started. This is also something that Darius J. Wright kind of like taps into, because he says, and him and this other woman, I don't remember her name, they were both interviewed in the same interview by this podcaster, and she was saying the same thing, but I like the way that she described it, because she had like these nice toy images, and it was basically, oh, I'll show you. It's like those old toys that kids used to have, right? It's like those little toys. They look like this, and you just stack the little round things on them. You just stack the little round things. She was saying that this is how it's supposed to be, and I think they both agreed that there were like 12 realms of Earth, like 12 different times that Earth has like started and like pressed reset, and then each one is like a new reset or new level of the Earth game. And she was saying that it got inverted at one point, and we've been going down ever since, back to level 1, which is at the bottom, but level 1, when it's right the right way, is at the top, obviously. And he was also, Darius was also saying that we are in realm 1 of Earth. And Ramona, the way that she puts it, is that we have to go back to the start to fix it, to get to the other side, like it never happened. It's a lot of things, but just think about it basically at level 1. So what I'm feeling specifically with these Black men like standing up in these leadership positions and speaking on these things that strongly, highly validate everything that the Divine Feminine has been saying for millennia. Like it's so crazy. The Divine Feminine has been saying this, and finally like the Divine Masculine is coming in to like back her up. I don't think it's a coincidence. I feel like it's a reflection of the times. Obviously everything's a reflection of the times, but like how I was initially, that's something that I wanted to talk about. So something about me is that whenever I watch things or are interacting with people's energetic field, they have a great potential of like activating me. I get a lot of like messages and downloads through other people. Comes in like a whoosh, and I just get all these things. Because this interview was so fucking long, I think it was almost 3 hours. That's why this video here is longer than my other ones, because not only do I have my own downloads that I've gotten myself personally, I also got messages from his messages. It's still loud outside, but let me just open the window for a little bit to get in a little bit of humidity, because I want the air on. It's just too hot, but then the lack of the warmth is fucking with my throat, and I need to be able to speak. Boop, boop. Okay. Many things. Thanks for still sticking with me. Hopefully all this shit saves on my phone. If not, I will be pissed. But I'll probably end up just saying it all again in different ways. I don't know. Anyway, so Billy Carson, he is like a expert in ancient civilizations, basically. I think that's how he also describes himself. He has fantastic, phenomenal recall. He's able to remember very specific things, which is also something that's been coming up for me a lot lately, or recently. But anyways, he talks about all these different things, and he talks about the literal proof that he's gotten either through ancient texts or seeing it with his own eyes, or through like talking to people from all around the world to hear their first person recount. So he's done lots and lots of research. Also, he is adept in the ways of like astronomics, physics, you know, mathematics, the banking systems, accounting. He knows, he's aware and very good at all these things. And also how I go about things. I usually don't care about like research and shit. I go by, how do I feel? Do I feel like this is true, or do I feel like this is a lie? And I feel like everything he said was true. It was so fucking cool because a lot of the things he said are exactly what Ramona Lappin says, usually worded differently, obviously, but they're exactly what she says, and I've heard other female spiritual leaders say as well. And what surprised me is that he spoke about things that I have experienced personally, and talked about like the proof of other people knowing about them, and like there's no way that I could have known these things unless, you know, it's my gifts and me tapping into my own or our, you know, access of unlimited information, or, you know, our own memories and shit. It's just so cool, which has been happening a lot, where like these visions that I had 2-3 years ago, I'm getting proof of them now. I will give you an example, I think. Yes. So I think I talked about this in my last live activation, or the one before that. I'm not sure. I think so. If not in the recent ones, I've definitely shared some sort of update about this. I've had visions more than once of these ant people, or praying mantis people. They look like bugs in lab coats, kind of like the one from Monsters vs. Aliens, kind of like that, like very like skinny and like in lab coats. One time in the vision, other times I saw like the security guards of them, and every time I knew that they were in inner earth. Every time, inner earth, or either like a very small like place on earth that might as well be underground, because like humans can't access because you can't see it. So I have like entries in my notes where I talked about this. I know I shared this with a friend at the time, and I was sharing this again recently because there kept being bugs around me, and I was like, here we go with the bug people, always with the fucking bugs that I hate. I'm like, stop sending them. But I knew they were trying to get my attention. And I'm watching the interview, he dropping all these gems, and I'm like, okay. And then he talks about the ant people, and I was like, the fuck? I was like, I've seen the fucking ant people, and he's the first person that I've seen online talk about other people saying that they saw them too. Basically, he was saying that in indigenous cultures around the world, people have said that a long time ago, there were these wars or something was happening that was unsafe for them. And so ant people took them underground and kept them safe. And that's literally what I said that I saw in my vision. I was on this, I've talked about it before. Let me see if I should like go into the details of it now. Basically, I was there. Let's just jump to it. And I was talking to one of them, and they were saying that they bring humans there often to heal them and help them recover so that they can return back to here and like continue on, is what I was basically hearing. I was hearing that they had like very advanced, and to them common sense, like medical treatment, different things, like different common sense intelligence that was very helpful. And they were very much like team humanity and like trying to help and assist and be positive. So that's something that was very validating for me. He talked about the pyramids a lot, which I don't feel called to get into that. What else do I feel called to get into? He also validated something else for me, which was like underwater. Like I'm hearing the ring in my ear, like the ocean and how it's like so unexplored. I don't think he touched too much into like what's down there, but he did remind me of a vision that I had 2 or 3 years ago. I had this vision that I was underwater here on Earth, and it was pitch black, and I was like this spy or some shit. I forget the exact details. I think there were more details. It's in my notes. I didn't read them before I came back on here. But I remember I was like camouflaged, I think, in black or as black or something. And there was this huge like whale creature, and the ringing. I went inside of the whale, and inside of the whale was like all this like laboratory. It was like all this technology in the ocean. I remember that, and that was also something that came back as well in this video. I think the last thing that I want to talk about before I like get off here, because I'm obviously becoming drained in my voice. I don't want to like push my voice too far, but something that he was talking about with the Bible, I have not identified as religious for a while, and I've spoken about like how harmful Christianity is, and how, you know, I've shared videos about like the Bible and stuff like that before, I think. Or no, I think just Christianity. But he really got into like all the details of the Bible and where certain verses come from and how some of them are true. And what he was saying makes so much sense. That's the thing about all the things that he was saying, is that they make sense. And that's what I was saying was very interesting. And what I was saying at the beginning about the divine masculine and feminine being in union is that the divine feminine, we have been saying this shit the whole time. And it's like his masculine energy went out and found the literal proof, the tangible proof of these things, and applied like material world insight to these spiritual concepts. So like physics, science, common sense, logically, like the way things are atomically composed of, and how, you know, they function in terms of the material world, and they sync perfectly to what the divine feminines have been saying. So anyway, he was saying about the Bible, and he was saying that the Bible is really a story of reincarnation, that they try to make it seem like it's not about reincarnation. And he was saying that the different quotes in there about God is actually supposed to be plural gods, and that it's a mistranslation. So again, I will say it in, I guess, a more clear way. He was saying that the word God in the Bible is a mistranslation, and it's supposed to be gods. And one of the people in this interview that you can watch, again, the link is already in my description, they were saying that's why in Spanish the word God is, I think, Dios, which is plural, gods. And he was saying that these gods in the Bible were literally just aliens that came here from as refugees because there were wars in space, and they used some sort of machine to blow up a planet, and the planet that these beings were on was next to that planet, and they didn't want to die because of all that debris from that exploded planet, so they fled. One of the places that they fled to become refugees was Earth, was here. And that's where you get these gods from, that these beings that were the God of the Bible, he was saying, are just aliens that came here and basically just colonized Earth. He was saying these things in way more detail than I'm putting. So like, don't like rely too heavily. Just always trust your own intuition. Like, you don't have to believe anything that I'm saying. Go based on your own intuition and what you're feeling. If you want to, go watch the interview yourself, or go, you know, listen to his podcast. I think he said he has a TV show and has been in documentaries. Go look him up yourself, or tap in yourself. Ask your higher self, ask spirit, if these things are true. You don't have to believe me, but it makes so much sense. And basically, he was saying how they basically eventually like enslaved humanity to do the work for them, and were very like greedy and like taking. And I'm like, that's where you have all the Greek mythology, like the different gods and their fighting and their beefs and their pride. Anyways, the point that I wanted to say, I'm gonna do a big reveal moment. Dun dun dun. is this fucking book by Sarah J. Maas. It's called The House of Sky and Breath. And look who is on it. A divine fucking masculine. In this book, okay, I'm gonna do spoilers. Sarah J. Maas, by the way, is my favorite author. In her other series, A Court of Thorns and Roses, that series, ACOTAR, is my favorite series of all time. And my favorite book of all time is A Court of Mist and Fury. Well, spoilers, so sorry if anybody hasn't read it. At the end of this book, the two of those universes meet. And it basically gets revealed at the end that these people, I forget the name of them, something with an A. There's like this government. So in this book, I'll keep showing it. It's called Crescent City. It's a Crescent City series. In this city, they abide by this government. Like, they're ruled by these super powerful beings who are like the government people. And people have to like go to a fountain, I think, and they give away like a drop of their power. And it's like a ritual. Like, it's like a tourist attraction. You touch this little fountain and you give away a little drop of your power, like, for the sake of religion. But like, the religion is like old. It's very casual now. It's like the same way that people celebrate Christian holidays in the United States, but a lot of people aren't really religious. It's like kind of like that. It's very normal. I think they call the oligarchy, something like that with an A, these beings that are the government. And, you know, nobody really, it's not like a huge deal in the books. You just know that, like, you don't fuck with them because they could, like, you don't uprise against them because they're so powerful, they'll just enslave you with like their magic and shit. But it's not a huge topic until the end of this book, where there's this demon prince. I'm giving so much information, but it'll make sense. There's this demon prince that keeps coming to the main character, trying to like give her tea. And of course, it takes a while for her to believe them because it's a demon prince, and you've been taught your whole life, you don't talk to the demons, you don't talk to demon princes for one. We find out in the book that the demon prince, oh, and I'm feeling so much. We find out in the book that the demon prince from hell, that hell isn't hell, it's just another planet. And it used to be vibrant, full of life. But then these fuckers, the A's, whatever, the oligarchy, I think that's from Twilight, but let's just call them that, whatever. These beings came there, sucked all of the life out of them, and left them to rot, and then went to a different planet. Then you find out that these are the beings that existed in the other book series in the universe. So basically, in this book, there are these aliens, because the whole time they don't know that they're aliens. They don't know that they're foreigners. They just know that they're like the government and they're in charge and they have powers and shit. You find out that they're not from there. They're actually these alien colonizers who've been sucking the life out of you. And I'm like, this story here is the same one that the guy with that Billy Carson was talking about. And he talks about this over and over, how you see these stories in everyday life all the time. He was saying the war that I was talking about where the planet got destroyed. He said it's verbatim, almost, not verbatim, but he was like, it was almost the exact same story as a Star Wars story. It's like these things have been here the whole time, but just disguised as fiction. Okay? And I think that's the last thing that I want to talk about from him. I'll just leave it alone for now. And I'll get one last message I'm hearing from the Rumi Oracle deck. Or no, I'll get one from this book, actually. Let's just pull a page. Ugh, I've only read this book one time, which is rare. I usually read all Sarah J. Maas's books at least twice, except for the Throne of Glass series. So here it is. Ron had never once in his life felt as useless as he did treading water, floatism, drifting past, Yadra distant behind them, and the next island not even a smudge on the horizon. Even the Athalar, oh, I knew it started with an A. That's the name of them, the government people. Even if, oh, maybe not. Even if Athalar could manage to get airborne and with waterlogged wings, yeah, it's not them. Slippers were waiting to down him, and Bryce. Karmic couldn't teleport, and Therion might be able to move them a little with his water, but against 3 Omega boats? He met Hunt stare over the bobbing swells, the angel soaking face grim with determination. Hunt asked, shadows, sun's too bright, and the waves shifted them too much. 2 of the Omega boats peeled off for Yidra, presumably to prevent any Ophion boats from escaping, but that still left one massive submersive against them, and the Hind, the Harpy, and the Hammer on that approaching speedboat. Once their faces became clear, it'd be over. Sandrel's old Triari would know who they were, and they'd be dead fucking meat. The Hellhound apparently had tried to help them, but the rest of those assholes, get out of here, Bryce scalded at Therion again. I think I'm gonna finish reading until the next paragraph. Therion shook his head, water spraying. If Athalar can drown their boats, I can't, Hunt called in. And Run raised his brows. Hunt explained, even if it wouldn't give away my identity, you're in the water with me. If I unleash my lightning, Run finished, we're deep fried. Hunt said to Bryce, you can't blind them either. They'll know it's you. Wow. So this is a scene where I think they like were on the lam, like they had like done some protesting, and so like people were after them, and they were about to get caught, but I think at the last moment someone came in and like helped them. And notice there kept being like 3. That was very hard to read. That was like, I need to practice reading. There were 3, I think, the Hammer, the Hound, the Hell Dog, or something like that. And there were 3 people. There was Run, Bryce, and Hunt. So 3 and 3 on the water about to face off. But the face off never happens. It gets resolved. So I feel like that's the last message, which is kind of like mysterious, and maybe it'll click deeper with me later. But I do remember, I think the thing that saves them is that a submarine appears, and then they end up on the submarine underwater, which is something that I was just talking about. Yeah, I'll leave it there. I'm hearing the name Run, or maybe I mispronounced it. It's spelled R-H-U-N or R-U-H-N. One of those. I feel like that name is important, but I hope these messages resonated. I've been talking for a long time, so I hope they resonated. If they did, please leave a comment. I think I mentioned the names of all the deck owners and stuff. You are welcome to support me in any way that you choose. If you feel like it, you can like, share, like I said, leave a comment, or you can donate if you feel called to. There'll be a link in the description. Lots of ringing. Thank you so much for your support already, and I will see you next time on the flip side. Okay, bye.